Hello, boys and girls of Class 8, Class of 2021. This is your grammar teacher, Samara, and today we will be continuing the previous portion that we did, which is preposition. This is your grammar class, preposition part 2. Before we start with today's topic, I don't know if you have already heard it, but many of our classmates and their families are right now hospitalized due to this horrendous virus. Let's remember them in our prayers and let's all hope and pray for their quick recovery. I too sincerely hope that all of you are keeping safe. Let's start with our lesson for today, preposition of time and place, part 2. In our previous class, we have learned preposition of place already. We will be explaining that again today in more detail. Today we will again be dealing with the very common but mostly misused prepositions which are in, on and at. But before that, just to give you a glimpse of what we will be learning, look at the screen. Today we will try and figure out which ones to use. For example, here, do we say in the morning, or at the morning, or on the morning? Why do we say at Christmas but on Christmas Day? And why is in, the preposition in, used for a taxi? Why do we say in a taxi but on a bus? Have you ever thought about that? Now we will be learning why we use these prepositions. So listen very carefully. Let's go on to the next slide. Prepositions of time. Firstly, we have in, and in is used when you're referring to periods of time which is general and which is the widest. On is used when we refer to a lesser period of time which is less general. And for at, we use it only when we mention a very specific time, a very specific period of time, a particular period of time. Now let's further explain this. We'll start with in first. In is used with years and months, seasons and weeks, and also parts of the day. Now example number 1 here. For years and months we use in. Example, in 1990, or in June month, in the 60s period of time, in the 19th century. For all these words we use in, which are years and months. Sentence given there, example is, I was born in 1999 in the month of October. B, my sister said that she'd like to live in the 60s. Easy, right? Now remember, again I will repeat, in is used for years and months. When mentioning years and months we use in. Next one. For seasons and weeks. Seasons are, for example, summer, winter, spring, autumn, all those. So in the winter and in a week. Sentences given are, in winter I always feel really depressed. Second sentence, let's hope lockdown will end in a few weeks. I really hope so. Now, the third one. In is used when mentioning parts of the day. For example, in the evening, in the afternoon, in the morning. But for night, we use at. Remember, okay? We don't say in night. We say at night. Okay. Examples given sentences. A, in the evening I like to relax and just listen to good music. B, we usually have tea in the afternoon. Got that? Easy. So let me repeat what we just said. In is the most general one. For example, for years and months, seasons and weeks, and parts of the day. Okay, let's go on to the next point, which is on. On is usually used with days and dates. On is less general, as we mentioned before. Now let's see how it is used. For dates, like on 21st, on the 25th, etc. Examples: I was born on 21st June, or I was born on June 21st. Now this is a little easy to get mixed up with. When we put more focus on the date rather than the month, okay, we still use on. Got it? You will use the preposition on when the date is given more importance. She came to visit us on the 25th of December. And also for days, like days of the weeks, example Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on holidays which has day on it. I will repeat, on holidays which has day on it. We will start school on Monday. We use on for days of the weeks, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. And B, look at B, this is very important. She went home on Christmas Day. For example, let's exclude day here. Let's imagine day was not here. She went home at Christmas. We will use at if there was no day, but day is mentioned here, so we have to use on. I will repeat. She went home on Christmas Day and came back on New Year's Day. Now at. At is used when referring to a very specific time. Examples here: clock times like 7 o'clock or 4 a.m. lunch time. I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning. Examples: let's meet up at lunchtime. These are all specific time. So when mentioning specific time or a particular time, we use at. Holidays without day. At Christmas, at Easter. I like spending time with my family. Example here: she liked to spend time with her family on Christmas Day. We use on here because the day is mentioned here. Okay, on to the next slide. Remember that we do not use the prepositions in, at, and on when we use the expressions last, next, every, and this. This is very important for your exams. Questions can come like these ones. We finished our exams blank last week. I will come and visit dash next Saturday. Last, next, and this are mentioned here. If these questions come, you will just write X here. You do not need to put any prepositions here. So your answer will be, we finished our exams last week. On to the next slide. Prepositions of place. We've done this in the earlier classes. So in, just like preposition of time, is general, and on is quite general, and at is used when mentioning specific places. Okay, in is used in big areas like countries, states, and cities. For example, in India, in Delhi, and also in enclosed spaces. Enclosed, small spaces where you need to get into, for example, a taxi or a car, or we use it also in a classroom. In a taxi, in a car, in a classroom. Those all are enclosed spaces. We use in for newspapers and books. If you still remember what we said in the earlier class, in are used on papers and books. For example, I read it in Valani newspaper, or you'll find the words in the dictionary. Very easy. Now on. On is used for places which have streets, roads, and venues on it without the numbers. Without the specific address, we use on. Public transportations, we use on, like bus, train, and planes. Got it? For enclosed spaces, we use in, but for public transportations like buses, trains, and planes, we use on a bus, on a train, on a plane. And on is used for devices, for communications and media, for example, radio, laptops, TV, and phones. On the phone, on the radio, on my laptop, on the TV. Example, I heard it on the radio, or I am on the phone. Now at. At is used when mentioning specific addresses. When we say specific addresses, it usually has numbers on them. For example, at 7th Avenue, at Beverly Hills 90210, or at YD20 Zaltlang. Got it? Quite easy. On the next slide, I have some exercise for you to do. This will be your homework. Number 1. Mary wore a witch costume dash Halloween. That is the name of a holiday, a day of a holiday. So what do we use? In, on, or at? Number 2. I have English classes dash Tuesday. That is a day of the week. What do we use? In, or, on, or at? Number 3. My dad comes home dash lunchtime. If you have any doubts, you can go back and watch the explanation again. I think that will be all for today. Until next time, stay safe, study hard, and let's remember to all pray for our friends and family.